Here we are for day number 12 of the Service to Purpose, The Mission is You Challenge. My name is Brooks Holland, and my gift is helping uncover and pull out the greatness that's buried inside of you. And the reason is because I spent the better part of 25 years denying, self-sabotaging, not being open to seeing the greatness that was inside me. And I had people that took a stand for me so that I could see my own greatness. And now I can in turn see it in you. I know the games you're playing. I know the stuff that's going on in your head. And the only reason I know that is because I did it myself for way too long. And the purpose of this challenge is to help you break through that so you can stop repeating those patterns and taking those actions. And there's a couple basic ground rules to this challenge. And really these ground rules are just around the body, around the vessel, because that's what we go through life in. So the first thing is you got to decide and take responsibility. Every single day you got to decide whether you're in, you got to take responsibility for it. The second thing, gallon of water. Gallon of water, you can add lemon juice and you can add cayenne pepper to it. Body's about 70% water. If you're not hydrated, that's the most important thing you can have is water. Second thing, eat real food. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Eat as much real food as you can. We got to be healthy. We get to move an hour, a minimum of an hour a day. Doesn't matter if you're walking, jogging, strength training, some mixture, all of it. Just make sure you get it in, because we got to have the water. We got to have the good food, the nutrition. We have to have the movement. And then the last piece of the body is we can't be sabotaging it with alcohol, cigarettes, weed, unprescribed medication, throwing this in there, no porn, none of those addictions, none of those things that we use to hide. We got to respect the vessel. And part of it, the reason we're starting there is that's the one thing that we can control. Doesn't matter. We can control what we put in our mouths and how we move our bodies each and every day. So we're starting there. And then the other key part of this challenge is these 10-minute videos that we're doing, because that's going to work in here. That's going to work on the emotional stuff. That's going to work on the belief sets. That's going to work on the things that are going on under the surface that are driving the show, the triggers, the patterns. Why are we repeating these loops and all this stuff? And that is what I'm going to help you do. And as we talk about that, today was kind of it was a good day, and then it was also a tough day. So as some of you might be aware, you just saw I'm a total car guy. I've loved cars my whole life. This is a beautiful M3, and I've had this car for almost 40% of my life. It's a car that I swore that I would never sell, but it's actually going to a great home. It's actually going to a buddy of mine, so he's coming to pick it up. So today I was just taking some time, getting the car cleaned up, things like that. And in that time, I've had the car for 16 years. A lot of memories, a lot of good memories, a lot of fun memories, but it also had me really thinking back through, the past 16 years of my life, and even some of the stuff before that. And that's where, these exercises we've been doing the last couple of days, getting down to that root and those limiting beliefs. And one of the biggest things is, usually something happens to us, and then we basically, we fall victim to it. And I was somebody that, never thought I was a victim. That, the way I was raised, and being in the military and all these things, like I was not a victim. No way. Like really couldn't stand people that were victims. And that's kind of the interesting piece, because what it was is I was being a victim, and I was really triggered or bothered by other people being a victim, because it was something to get very, very self-righteous about. And that's one of the big things. That's how you can tell if something's still sitting there under the surface, because a lot of times they'll get so animated because somebody's doing something, and I'd say like 999 times out of 1,000, whatever you're angry at somebody else, it's inside you. So it took me a long time to really come to grips to actually be able to take responsibility and just put it on the table that, yes, I had been being a victim. I had this, great victim sob story. Like it made perfect, it made perfect sense. And, if you look at Tony Robbins with the 6 basic human needs, anytime you meet any 3 or more, you have the potential for an addiction. And so, yeah, I was addicted to my victim story. Every time it got attention, it was logical, it made sense. But did it serve me? No, not at all. I mean, that's the thing. Our victim stories, they don't serve us. The only thing they do is they serve to keep us playing small, to keep us hiding, to, stay in that place that, deep down we don't want to be. And that's why also with this challenge, the first thing every day, before some of the bodies, the key, you have to decide and you have to take responsibility. And this was something that was hard for me. I just really grasped this recently about being 100% responsible 100% of the time. And, I always considered myself a responsible person. As I'm cleaning out this car today and just thinking back through, all the things over the years, and it wasn't a self beat up thing at all. It was really just more format. There's a lot of great stuff. There's just a lot of self-reflection and looking at these things, but looking at them now from a perspective of like, okay, I get to change that. I got to see areas in my life where I weren't taking things seriously. Like money's an example. We all have our money stories, and we'll go into this a little bit more, further on down this challenge. But you have these money stories. How many times have you said, I don't care about money, or like I don't need money to be happy? We have these, these stories. But I think of your relationship. If you woke up to, with your significant other, like, I don't care about you. Like, well, how is that gonna go? And I could just see patterns. It's like, I just want to break. Like something breaks, you get money, and then somehow or another, it's gone again. And so I was just, seeing these things, just realizing it. And honestly, it made me smile just because of how far I've come. The fact that I could look at these things and take responsibility for them and actually learn from that. So as we're doing this deep work, and we're getting to that root and we're getting to the cause of those limiting beliefs, the victim story is definitely going to come up. But coming up these next few days, I'm going to help you get past it. I'm going to share a couple of key things, and I'll touch on one of those now. So usually in this victim story, it was, somebody did something to us, whether it was a parent's, sibling, significant other, something like that. We're this perception that we were wrong. That's where the victim story comes from. And I'm going to do an entire video on this. But one of the biggest things you can do for that is actually forgiveness. And forgiveness is one you're probably not, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I know. But you have to truly, 100% authentically from the bottom of your heart, be ready to forgive. And I just want to touch on that now, because I will tell you, I've got a pretty big story around, with the forgiveness and the process it took me to actually get it. Because I'm like, I've forgiven this person. Like, come on, like I've done this already. But when there's that kind of still energy around it, we haven't really, forgiven from the place where we're actually free from it. And again, that is the goal for this challenge, is to get down to these root cause, to get these beliefs and to get free from them, to get to the other side, so that we're not continually living in those loops, in those patterns, and staying stuck. So there you have it. Get with that victim story. I know it's coming up because we all have these limiting beliefs, and then the person who did something to us, or, that was how we perceived it. But just sit with these emotions. Remember, face it and feel it. Emotions, they only last seconds to minutes. And once you grasp that, it's a beautiful thing, because then it doesn't matter when those things come up. We can feel them and be present with them, and then go about our day. Because remember, from a couple of videos ago, the suffering is in the avoidance of the suffering. The suffering isn't from just feeling the actual suffering. So there you have it. I will see you tomorrow for day 13. And again, if you're finding values in these videos, just the best thing you can do is share it with somebody that you think it would benefit. That's all that I ask. All right, have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow.